Welcome to the Zen Zone. Wanted to say that I am actually genuinely surprised that this wheel is still in stock. This Begode X with a 3,500 watt motor, this 2,700 watt battery. I can't believe these are still in stock. $3,500 is a hefty ticket, but Yuko and Rev Rides, God, can use the discount code Zen. I'll ask to see if I can get you $100 off, but $50 off right now. Look at this. It has so much power. Now, again, on this particular road, the Monster Pro and Sherman would be better, but on some of these tight turns, it's just amazing. And you can see how the suspension gives you an advantage on the turns. It gives you a huge advantage on the turns. I wish the Begode X could go faster, like if it could hit 50 miles an hour. But it's not. It doesn't feel as stable as the Monster Pro. The Monster Pro would be amazing on this road. Riding the Monster Pro on this track is going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to try soon. But see here, hitting these 15-mile-per-hour turns, so easy and effortless, and like I'm not losing any of my inertia because the suspension just holds that energy so well. It's a lot of fun to ride. This wheel is the funnest EUC I've ever ridden. I've put in more miles on it than I'm catching up to my Sherman really fast. I think I have 2,500 miles on my Sherman, and I already have almost 1,000 miles on this Begode X. And I only had it for a few weeks, so it's a lot of fun. And when I go out to ride it, I'm not even getting. I feel like I'm getting tired before my battery runs out. That's the first time I've ever had that happen. Even with my Sherman, I feel like I could burn out my Sherman battery really fast, and I still have energy left. But with the Begode X, the 83 pounds and working that suspension, carving, and really playing with the suspension, it kind of burns up my energy, and I get back with 93 volts. So that's really awesome, and charges up pretty quick, and I go at it again. It's a really fun wheel to ride, and it's the wheel I'm going to be riding for until something better comes out, because it has speakers, Bluetooth speakers, which I love. If the Sherman had that, that would be a big win for the Sherman. Would I like a Sherman with suspension and speakers? Yes, I would love. Take my money. I would put a deposit down on that now. That would be the wheel of wheels. But for now, this Begode X has everything I need. Has range, has speed. Would I like to go faster? Yes. I'd like to go faster. And I think that's why some people are sleeping on it. But really, guys, how many of you go past 40? Really consistently go past 40? I rarely do. Like on my Sherman, I do. I'll hit like 45, and I like to cruise at 45 sometimes, like if the road is right. But with the Monster Pro, it'll be a lot easier to cruise at that speed. Begode X, I feel fine cruising at 35, and that feels fast, especially at nighttime. You're riding on nighttime, it feels fast. Then you got the suspension, so if you want to go on a little detour like this, look how steady it is. Now, I would need a little bit more air in the suspension, I think, for this particular track to make it even more smooth. I have my suspension really optimized for street. I like where it is. It's perfect for me. And I'm really enjoying this wheel. Super surprised it's in stock. Guys, if you want one, put in a deposit with Rev Rides. Yuko has them ready to go. The ones Rev Rides will be getting will have the updates. So if you want an updates more for like technical riders, I think they're raising up the suspension. And I think they're going to put a screen on it. So these are innovations that are coming to this wheel eventually. So if you want to put a deposit down, you're welcome to do that. I would just buy one right now because it's already such a great wheel. As long as I don't have any issues with it, I'm going to keep riding this wheel. It's such a fun wheel. I have the Merlin spiked fish pedals on it and the Clark pads. And what you need on a wheel like this, you need deep pads and you need spike pedals because it's heavy. At least for someone my weight, I definitely need them. It's a big wheel for me. I'm trying to gain weight so I could actually master it. I think I need to gain about 15 pounds, man. The bigger guys now have the advantage with the Monster Pro and the Begode X. These wheels are made for the bigger guys, so they're going to be able to keep up with the little guys now on the Shermans. Yeah, the tides have turned. These bigger motors have changed the racing game, and the bigger guys now have the advantage, in my opinion. With the wheels like the Monster Pro, you're going to be able to develop techniques that are going to make you faster than me. I just won't be able to get as much torque out of these bigger wheels, these bigger motors, as you guys will be. The bigger guys, you got the advantage. If you're training, I'm training. I need to train harder. I need to gain weight so I can catch up to you big guys, and I will be training on a Monster Pro hopefully soon. I'm working on getting one and reviewing that. because I think it is. I would love to ride it on this road. I think it would be funner than the Begode X on this particular road. My previous video, the one with Mario on the wetlands, I would rather have Begode X because there's a lot more turns. It's more of a roller coaster. This is more of a big roller coaster. You need a bigger wheel. Yeah, so I'm excited to ride the Monster Pro on this. I've ridden the Sherman on it. I wouldn't mind taking the Sherman back on it again. I need to put my pedal lifts on the Sherman. That's what I'm waiting for on the Sherman. Putting on the pedal lifts that I got from E-Rides. E-Rides really hooked it up with those pedal lifts. They raise it up 1 centimeter, which is a big deal on the Sherman. Raising it up 1 centimeter will help you on these tighter turns. Some of these tighter turns, especially with the firmware that's on the Sherman. It is really good at tight turning. It's my second favorite EUC for tight turns. If I wasn't riding the Begode X, I'd be riding the Sherman. They're like my top 2 wheels, and I'm gonna ride the number 1 wheel, which is the Begode X. And if the Monster Pro comes, I will probably be riding that even more than the Begode X. We'll see. And the XN, I'm not that interested in. I would only like to ride it for comparison's sake, but it's so close to the Sherman that it's not a wheel I would buy because I already have the Sherman in there. To me, it's like the same specs, although I think the XN might have the advantage actually in specs and speaker, which I would love to have a speaker, but it doesn't have the roll bars and the knobby tire. So there's the trade-offs. There's a lot of trade-offs, but they're both, similar enough that I don't really feel the need to really get that interested in the XN. But if people want me to give my honest opinion on it, you would definitely get it from me. So something I could do, give you my honest opinion on the XN. Still am very curious at the cutout speed of the EX because I'm beeping at about 41 miles an hour, and usually, in the past with all my other Begodes and Nicolas, and I've never had an issue going well over the beeps, by up to 10 miles an hour, and that's not something I'm obviously going to test. Got to play the safe game here on this because you're really high up on this wheel. So if you go flying it, I think it'll be a little bit different than going sliding on the Sherman. I think you got to be careful the way you fall because you're higher up and you're going to hit at an angle, probably tear rotator cuff, your wrist will hit. Yeah, it's going to be bad if you're coming up from that high. Definitely be careful on this EUC. But as far as safety goes, as long as you're not being overly aggressive with it, I've not had bad wobbles on it yet. Nothing scary. Running over bumps or unexpected obstacles has been no issue. Definitely always need to be careful around wet areas, slippage, but I found when I slip on this wheel, it's as long as you don't try to bail, as long as you stay on the wheel, you're fine. Just kind of let the wheel take you. That's like a tip I think in general, is to always try to stay on the wheel. In most cases, obviously there's probably times you need to bail, but with wobbles and stuff like that, try to stay on as long as possible. The longer you can stay on, the better. And then I think usually want to go to your knees first in general. I know a friend that cut out real fast going fast on his Nikola, and he went straight to his knees and he didn't get hurt at all, really. So those, if you have good Leat knee pads, he had good Leat knee pads. Leat knee pads are the best in my opinion. So definitely, if you have good knee wear, good elbow wear, use it if you're going down. But crashes seem rare nowadays, and I haven't had a crash in a while, as long as you're playing the safe game. And that's it for this video. Stay safe. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I don't want to get hurt. Stay in the Zen zone.